Welcome back. Cosatu and the National Union of Mineworkers is picketing outside the offices of the Chamber of Mines in Johannesburg to demand an improvement in safety at mines. This as a memorial service is underway for the 7 miners who died last week following a rock fall at Sibanye's Driefontein mine on the West Rand. For more on Cosatu's protest, we crossed our reporter Mbongeni Muthwa. Mbongeni, good afternoon to you. Tell us how the protest is getting on and what's the turnout?
Well, at exactly 12 o'clock, which is the time that the picket was scheduled to begin, there were about 4 or 5 people from Cosatu head office who then went ahead, began picketing by themselves. And since then, they've been joined by other workers in dribs and drabs. Right now, the number is now approaching maybe 100. But right now, I'm joined by the president of Cosatu, Mr. Mbongeni, to tell us more about this picket. Mr. Dlamini, thank you very much for talking to us. Who is here? Who is coming from where for this picket?
Thank you very much, Mr. Muthwa. We are here as Cosatu leaders, Cosatu unions from our various head offices here in Johannesburg. And we said, let us come and join the National Union of the Mineworkers on this day, where we're raising the plight of the mine workers in South Africa. In particular, as we stand here next to the Chamber of Mines house in South Africa, who we believe they are conniving in encouraging that mines in this country have become a slaughter or slaughterhouses for the workers in South Africa. This year alone, over 30 workers have died just in one mine, Sibanye Gold. And you can calculate, we are 5 months in 2018. By the end of this month, if we allow this to go on as it is, you will have more than 80 workers having been killed by one mine here in South Africa with no remorse, nor even any intention to change and respect the health and safety laws of this country, with no respect of the workers who would want to have at least a day of mourning with full pay to respect those families and the workers who would have passed on due to the mine accident. They have dismissed workers. They have recalled health and safety committee members of NUM back to the workplace from a full-time basis, just to undermine the work they must do to ensure that there is proper health and safety. We're saying it is enough. Workers' lives are not cheap.
In terms of the escalation in the fatalities or the deaths underground, what do you think is the root cause of this?
It is just sheer neglect by management, by the mining houses, and the neglect by our government to punish those companies who disrespect the health and safety laws. We have called as Cosatu and the National Union of the Mineworkers for the withdrawal of licenses to practice by those rogue companies who disrespect the laws. And also, it is a case of greed, relying on just getting more profits at the expense of the workers without ensuring that the mine is safe. It is, lastly, the disrespect of the lives of workers in this country by the mining houses.
What about the age of the mines? I mean, everyone knows that mines in this country generally, especially the gold mines, are very old. The depth of mining, is that not a factor as well?
Yes, that is also a factor, but it is known. Once the mine has gone so deep that they are now mining the pillars of the mine, you must ensure that the health and safety conditions are even more observed. The lifespan of a range of our mines, because they've become too deep in this country, require that we need to look into other forms and look into new areas of mining and employ new people in those new mines. They are neglecting that because they are simply reliant on making a profit.
Baba, thank you very much for your time.
I thank you.
Well, Natasha, there you have it. The president of the NUM, Mr. Pete Machosa, is right behind me, busy talking to our colleagues from other media houses. We are hoping to also bring him in now to just get a word from him, but I guess we'll have to wait for a bit later to have a chance to do that. It's back to you for now.
All right, Mbongeni, thanks so much for that. Mbongeni Muthwa. live for us from Johannesburg, from that march that's been organised by Cosatu and the National Union of Mineworkers. But I'm just being told, Mbongeni, that we can go back to you because I believe that you've got your guest there with you. Let's just see if he can still hear me. Mbongeni, can you try and get that second guest for us?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Mashakaros. Yes, he's here now, Mr. Machasa. Mr. Machasa, thank you very much for quickly coming to join us. In your view, what is going on with these escalations of fatalities underground? What is really going on?
Well, our view as the National Union of Mineworkers is that the companies are not doing enough to save the lives of ordinary mine workers, and the companies are prioritizing profits instead of prioritizing lives of their employees who are NUM members.
If you could please tell us clearly, just spell it out, what do you want to see happen to put an end to this?
We want to see the millions and billions of rands that are being directed to the shareholders, being directed to the safety of mine workers, so that these mines can be profitable as well, so that these mines can be sustained. Because if you keep on killing people, that means you are destroying the same industry that has to create jobs. And we're saying to Sibanye and Harmony, who are top killers in the industry, they must stand up. The National Union of Mineworkers is ready to engage. This killing must stop. This killing cannot be tolerated going forward.
In terms of compliance with health and safety regulations by the mining companies?
Well, they are claiming that they are complying. But if they were complying, our feeling and view is that the deaths will not be increasing. The deaths will be declining instead of decreasing. So we are saying they are not doing enough in terms of compliance as well.
Mr. Machasa, thank you very much for your time. I have to release you to join the workers for the picket. Well, Natasha, thank you very much. You heard it from both the president of Cosatu and the president of the NUM. The picket is getting louder and louder, and we see more and more workers coming and joining, but in dribs and drabs. Earlier, we were told that they were expecting workers from mining areas far and wide, even the Free State. But so far, we haven't seen workers arriving in buses or in large numbers. It's back to you.
Thanks very much. Mbongeni Muthwa live for us there from that picket being organised by Cosatu and the National Union of Mineworkers.